Okay, so welcome everyone to the weekly coaching call. My name is Omar Pinto, and my co-host is Tori Skeen. And today we're going to kick it off with Jackie, who wants to learn a little bit about giving and receiving love. So tell us a little bit about how you've been struggling with that.
Well, I tend to keep up very strong walls, and I've gotten to a point in my life where I realize that no longer serves me, and it's a struggle for me to open up to community and be vulnerable and let people in and let people know about me too. So I find that even as I try consciously to do these things, it just doesn't come naturally for me.
Okay. All right. So that's a good framework there. Really, at the end, it doesn't come naturally. Okay. So that's really, it's almost like I have to learn. Like I have to learn to be open. I have to learn to be vulnerable. However, when we're babies, when we are first born, the only thing we know how to do is give and receive love. That's what babies do. Right? They don't have the ability to communicate. So they can't process the same information that we can. So they can only feel things, right? And most of the time, babies are going to feel love and joy. So when was the last time you held a baby, Jackie?
It's been a long time since COVID. I haven't had a chance to hold a baby in over a year. Yeah.
I think if you could find a way to make it more appropriate, everyone should hug a baby. Okay. Because every time I hug a baby, I forget how awesome it feels to hug a baby. It's an indescribable feeling when you hold a baby. They smell different, they feel different, they make different sounds. And when you're holding them, that gives you this indescribable feeling of like joy and happiness. It's like, oh my God, like I'm holding a baby. How cool is this? Right. And the little baby's just kind of, right. So there is this. And so that's the representation of love and joy in its purest form is the baby. And in that moment, when you are holding that baby, what's happening is that you are giving and receiving love in that moment, because there's nothing else. There's no agenda. The baby doesn't expect anything from you. It doesn't want you to open up. It's not, asking you about your past. It's not interested in having a relationship with you. So in that moment is this very unique opportunity to experience love and joy unconditionally in its purest form. So what I'm trying to do, Jackie, is I'm trying to remind you that at some point in your life, you knew exactly what to do. You knew how to give and receive love. And at some point, you either forgot or it became dangerous to give and receive love. So what comes up for you as I say all that?
Well, first of all, I have an opportunity to hold a baby on Saturday, and I was like, given my social anxieties, I was like, oh, I don't want to go to this thing, and but I have to go. And so I've been doing that, and yeah, now I'm like, thanks, I get to go hold this baby. Like, that makes sense. Like, Yeah, I should go and hold this baby. I do want to. See
Okay.
everyone.
So what is this? Is a baby shower? What is this? Where are you
No,
going?
it's just a friend's birthday,
Okay.
and they had a baby a few months ago, so I haven't been able to see him yet.
So that's exciting. Okay, good. So in this particular case, there's two facets of this, the giving and the receiving of love, right? So if that was the question, right? Giving and receiving love, or giving and receiving love and joy? It was just love, right?
Love, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think joy would
Mhm.
tag right along there too.
It does. It does. Okay, so it's when I get an opportunity to work with somebody in person, especially when it comes to beliefs about money. So a lot of times people don't recognize how conflicted they are with money. Okay, so there's a blockage that's preventing them from receiving more money. There is a belief system. Okay, and so I usually use, if they're in person. Okay, and let's say, for example, it's somebody that did something for me, was a practitioner of some sort. I'll say thank you to see how they respond to me thanking them for their work. Based on their response, it tells me how willing they are to receive my compliment, receive positive feedback. And if they shriek, if they go, oh, it was nothing, it's just something I do. If they downplay it, I immediately recognize, oh, you're resisting. So if you're resisting there, you could be resisting everywhere. Okay. And so you could also be resisting money coming in. So I say, let me give you a hug. Right. So I will usually give somebody a big bear hug. Right. And based on their level of tension, it tells me how willing they are to receive love and joy. Because within a hug, you will release a tremendous amount of oxytocin, which is a feel-good and chemical released in your body, right? So really, it's about the practice of allowing yourself to receive. Sometimes I'll tell someone, okay, you need to go with your spouse or go with your partner or go with your friends and tell them, you want a 30-second hug. When was the last time you got a 30-second hug?
Been a while.
Yeah. Most people, it's been a long time before you get a 30. At first, it's very uncomfortable. The first 5 to 10 seconds is you allowing yourself to, number one, have someone holding you. So it's almost like there's a constraint there. But at some point, when you let go, and I'll usually whisper in their ear, I'll say, let go. Just allow it. Right now, I am giving you love. All you have to do is receive it. And as soon as you receive it, send it right back. And I'll usually feel them just drop. Their shoulders will drop, their hands will drop, and they'll either start crying, okay, or they will breathe. So there is a practice. There's a physical practice and there's a mental component, which is, am I allowing myself to receive? Do I allow myself to receive? Do I have the ability to allow myself to receive? And it could be anything. So I would practice with anything. Do I have an ability to receive money, compliments, love, joy? And so there is that component of practice. Okay, so what else is coming up as I mentioned this?
It feels pretty uncomfortable. I can feel like the burning in my belly and the word safety. Yeah.
Okay. So can you see now where the resistance is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do I, how do I give and receive love? How do I learn to give and receive love? The first thing is getting healing this facet of my life that tells me it is unsafe to allow someone to love me. Is there a little voice that says it is unsafe to allow someone to love me?
I think the voice says, how do I know that this person is safe?
Very good. Very good. Here's the barrier of entry. How do I know this person is safe? How does anyone know? Okay. So that's the first question. What could be the next question?
How do I feel when I'm with this person?
Very good. How do I feel when I am with this person? This one is super important because if I allow myself to connect with my internal guidance system, it will tell me if this person is safe or not. And sometimes I might misread. And so let's just go worst case scenario. Okay. At your age and with your life experience, what could be the worst case scenario?
They're not a safe person. And
Okay.
I'm not able to protect myself.
They are not a safe person, and I may not be able to protect myself. Okay. So this feels young.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a much smaller version of Jackie that developed this belief system. She was smaller, younger, unable to defend herself, unable to protect herself.
Mm.
Jackie she's much taller now. Okay. She's much wiser now. She's much stronger now. So the belief system is rooted in a much younger, smaller, more delicate, more frail, version of Jackie. But Jackie's grown up. Jackie is educated. Jackie has life experience. So is this version of Jackie able to protect herself more than the younger version of Jackie?
Yes.
Is she better at keeping herself safe?
Yes.
Okay. Can she trust herself?
Getting there. I'm not 100%. Yeah, I'm working on that.
Okay, so there's this. Go ahead.
I think that's just tuning into that intuition,
So here is, and this is again, baby steps into this, right? Giving and receiving love. It can be, the simplest way to do it would be to do it with women. Okay. So, you know, there could be that men have hurt me. And because have hurt me, men are dangerous. Okay. And maybe it doesn't have, maybe with women, it doesn't have the same, as strong, or untrue.
Yeah. It cut out there at the end. I just missed you.
All right, hold on. I'm getting a little bit of testing. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Or is it chopping
Your
out?
mic
We
is
good?
up. It looks like your mic is off. Sounds like.
Good thing I bought a backup mic. All right. How about now? Or is it still?
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay. I will try not to touch it. I was hearing some weird sort of funky sounds. Okay. So let's go back. So there could be, we could even, it's still chopping, isn't it? No? Okay, good. So it could be either a male thing, a female thing, where I feel safer around women than I do around men. Is that an aspect of your life?
Yeah.
Okay. So the easiest thing to do to learn how to trust yourself is to be in the safest place possible. So I could start learning how to give and receive love, or allow myself to give and receive love with individuals that I feel the safest with.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to start out with cultivating friendships with women, right? And then start practicing this technique of hugging, right? Where I can, it's really an embrace, right? Where I allow myself, and embrace has many facets, right? So embrace the idea that I no longer have to constantly be protecting myself. Because if I don't trust, if I don't feel safe around people in general, then there's the barrier of entry. Safety is the barrier of entry. I can't allow anything to come in. Money, prosperity, abundance, joy, happiness. If I don't feel safe, then the self-preservation becomes the number one objective. So I might want to experience love. Might want to experience joy and freedom and creativity. But if I'm experiencing any of those and I could get hurt and someone could take advantage of me, then I will opt to protect myself, close myself off from opportunities that could be joyous, loving, happiness, because there's an element of unsafety. So this is an opportunity to start baby stepping out there and start cultivating relationships with individuals that you do feel safe with, like 90%, 95%. And even if they do hurt me, they don't answer my calls, they ghost me, something like that, whatever the case may be. It's nothing, as if I don't feel safe, that feels like a much bigger unsafety. Without going into details, when I hear this, and I also know you, so I immediately go, okay, so there's a weight here, right? And so it is more important to feel safe than to feel loved. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So if I don't feel safe, I won't allow myself to feel loved. And I'm certainly not going to give love. Okay, so what's coming up as I'm narrating all that?
I'm just thinking of the time, like the relationships I have where I do feel safe. There's not many of them. And even in those relationships, I'm still pretty walled up. So I can see there's room to open up in those relationships.
The good news is that in a space like this, you're being open, you're being vulnerable, but physical safety is 100%. Okay, so we can at least, with Zoom calls, your physical safety is 100% not an issue. Okay, you're not physically. I might be emotionally. I might be this. I'm not feeling safe. I might get hurt emotionally, but I can't get hurt physically. So as we start to kind of take different elements of that unsafe out of the equation, the idea is to draw you out of the cave, right? Get, little by little, get a little bit closer to the edge, right? And so here's the action items. First of all, I don't even know how, I started with this conversation of hugging a baby, and you've got a party coming up where you actually can go and hug a baby. So that is that is not coincidental. So, and you're going to be going to an event. So my challenge to you is to, number one, go hug the baby. And then number two, hug the people there, at least one or two people, and try and hug them. I don't know if you're at a party, how long hugging somebody for 30 seconds. That's a long time. Nice, strong embrace. Long enough to where they feel uncomfortable and you feel uncomfortable. That's when you know it's working. You know it's working when you feel uncomfortable and they feel uncomfortable, and it's like, oh my God, we've been in this hug for a while now. Right? And actually, to keep the hug, you could just start talking in their ear. God, it's so good to see you. It's been so long. God, it's so nice to actually hug someone. When was the last time I actually hugged someone? It just feels so good to actually have physical contact with someone. That was at least 10 seconds. Okay, so that's my challenge to you. How does that feel?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Do you feel like that could be the first step to bridging that gap towards allowing yourself to receive and give love?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I already feel more open to even, not talking myself out of going to the party. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So what would be, if you were going to talk to yourself out of the party, what's the words you would use to talk yourself out of going to the party?
I have to work tonight, so I'm not going to make it, which I do.
Okay, I have to work tonight. That's the easy one. What would be another one?
That I would tell myself?
Yep.
Oh, things like this, this friendship is kind of superficial anyway. It's not really one of my, I kind of talk myself out of the importance of the relationship.
This friendship is superficial.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Any give me another one.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
Okay. Okay. All right. I like that one.
Yeah.
That one we can work with. It's going now. I want you to have a conversation with yourself. Okay. So, man, I don't want to go. It's going to be so uncomfortable. Okay. So now, like, put your hands up. Okay. So this is Jackie that doesn't want to go to the party because she's afraid and she doesn't feel safe. And this is the Jackie that is in personal development and growth. Okay. And she knows that the only way to be able to overcome these limiting beliefs is to actually face her fears. Right. So the first one starts. Okay. So start out with this Jackie, and this Jackie, I'll start it off for you. Oh man, I don't know. I'm going to feel so uncomfortable going to this party.
It's in the park. You're going to be outside. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get to hold the baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now what does the other one say?
Yeah, but wouldn't you just rather rest before work and not go anywhere, not get in the car and fight the traffic? And you don't have to show up and, put on your face.
What face is that?
Just like, I'm having a good time face.
Put on your having a good time face. Okay, so now what does the personal development side tell you?
If you're not having a good time, you don't have to put on your good time face. Just be who you're going to be and show up as who you are. And you'll probably have a good time.
Huh. Does the other Jackie have anything to say to that?
She doesn't have anything nice to say. No.
The question is, who wins?
Yeah.
That's the only question I have for you. Who wins? One of those two is going to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once we recognize that the only reason that you don't want to go at the core is the need to feel safe. That's everything. Once that heals, then going to a party, being social, giving and receiving love will become natural. Right now, it's unnatural because it doesn't feel safe. So I'm going to have these conversations with myself and ultimately convince myself that for me to allow myself to give and receive love, I'm going to have to put myself in proximity to other humans. And then I'm going to have to trust myself and them while I'm there. But when I'm at a park outdoors with a bunch of people, what's my safety level?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
It's pretty high. Okay, you're outdoors in a park with a bunch of people. Okay, so the safety goes way up. Okay, any questions?
No.
Are you ready? Okay, all right. So there's no backing down.
Yeah, no.
All right. Guess what? This is going to be your first exercise in giving and receiving love. All right, and there is nothing like holding a baby.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, does anyone have any input? This is a very fun topic. I really enjoyed this topic. Does anyone have any comments or feedback for Jackie?
I just want to say, I think I got a lot out of it. I think a lot of people, especially in recovery, can probably relate to this, just because it doesn't feel safe a lot to, especially receiving love or even just receiving help. And very, I mean, for me, it's still really hard to receive all that stuff, because I want to do it all on my own. But that's the beauty in life, right? Is sharing it with other people and giving and receiving. So just admire your courage and let us know how it goes with that 30-second hug.
Yeah, the first time you can actually be with someone and say, if you don't mind, I would like to do a 30-second hug. And you will have so many feelings and emotions running through your body. Allowing that is going to really give you some insight, because a lot happens in a 30-second hug. And also, too, there's also this idea of, love being transactional as well. So if I allow myself to receive love, right, what are they going to want for it? So this is where that safety factor comes in. And that's why I was saying going to this park, being with a friend, and also being with women, or bridging this gap with women, right? It minimizes that feeling of there's an agenda, right? If I allow myself to receive something from someone, are they going to expect something back from me, especially something that I am not willing to give, right? So it's one thing to give and receive love. That's a feeling, that's an emotion. It's another thing to want something, right? Based on somebody giving me something. So that is very understandable. So again, that's coming from a much smaller version of Jackie. This version of Jackie, she's an adult, she's stronger, she's educated, she's savvy, she's worldly, she has a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, she's very intuitive. She knows when she's with a douchebag. She can trust herself, right? That's what really want to reinforce is, and the only way for me to know that about myself is to be around people. All right. Anyone else want to jump in here? Great topic. I love talking about giving and receiving, because it's in all areas. Receive love, allowing yourself to receive money, right? It's all very much related. And look, Stephanie, I haven't seen you in forever. Can you give us an update on what's been going on with Stephanie?
I just finished like last week. I'm halfway through. I just got out of therapy and it was about this. So woo, so fun.
Nothing is coincidental,
like literally
ever.
exactly, like it's never just about like building trust and safety with myself and my own threats to personal safety and where they come from and how to cope, and effective communication with when I feel threatened, because I get very intense about it. Other than that, I'm just like building routine outside of routine again and doing that. I'm trying something new and something fun while I have a little lull. So I think we're gonna go axe throwing. I'm gonna try kickboxing. We need to get some cathartic stuff going on.
I like that.
That's it. I'm watching a dog. So nothing fun. Nothing super exciting. Same old, but it's
All
good to
right.
see you guys.
So as you were listening to my conversation with Jackie, what was coming up for you?
Just exactly how Jackie was. Like I can easily like just talk myself out of everything. real quick. And I get like uncomfortable when I feel kind of threatened. And we're doing the steps and we were talking about abuse and that I still have an abuser in my life and it's like a cycle and I can't effectively get out of that quite yet until I gain some independence. So like getting independent and feeling safe with myself and getting like small goals and just not bigger picturing and all or nothing everything and allowing things to coexist at the same time in my safety kind of. I don't know. I wrote it down. It's processing.
But you
and
still
just,
have
you know,
you still have an aggressor in your life.
wait, I don't want to make this about me.
All right, all
Back
right,
to
all right.
no. No.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
All right. Okay, well we'll leave that for now. Okay. All right. So, who's next? We still got 20 minutes. There's 10 people on this call. Somebody's got to have something. Go ahead, Paulie.
How are we doing, Omar?
Doing
Hi,
wonderful,
everybody.
my friend. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to get on this call. I could relate. I could relate to a lot of what you shared and what Jackie shared. I think mine. I don't know if mine is as much. I guess safety has a lot to do with it. What I'm finding the funk that I'm into is I think because of I've had a very tumultuous, in a way, of course, year, but also this past decade, I faced a lot of challenges and a lot of starts and forced stops. Right, things I wanted to do couldn't do. Things I wanted to try to do didn't turn out the way I thought they were going to turn out. Lots of change and what has happened, what I'm seeing of myself now, this pattern that I have lots of opportunities as things are opening up, and I actually finally, after 3 years, I got hired to actually do peer support and actually get paid for it. And also, it's
Nice.
like super excited, right? I should be a lot more excited. And I've had many opportunities, even on this platform with Sobriety Engine, to do more things that based on recovery. But yet I find myself afraid to pull the trigger, afraid to, in a sense, you talk about giving and receiving love. I don't, some of that, it's very easy for me to give, harder for me to receive. And then boundaries, putting up, I think, artificial boundaries that so I hold myself back in areas. I only go so far, allow so many things at my control to allow to happen, right? And then when to where I feel comfortable, I guess is the best way to put it. Uh, and then other opportunities that seem too risky, too scary, too mostly not risky, uncertain, right? I have little uncertain. There's little to no control of at all. To throw myself out there, although it's exciting, could be interesting, who knows where it could end up. It's like I'm excited for 24 hours and then I let myself get distracted and not even. And I think I use the term "let" because I think it's purposeful. I'm seeing that it's purposeful. You guys are talking about relationships. There's a gentleman that I was working with that I started a relationship with. I, long distance texting in recovery, several years ago, and we do. It started very simple, gratitude list every day. Somebody I'd met in my travels, but this person is for some reason I don't see myself equal to this person, even though I started the relationship with them as trying to help them. It started to flip around that they were actually helping me, or through helping them, I helped them, and they're very, in my opinion, the word successful. Um, and now I
Ah.
feel, and
Mm-hmm.
they're asking me to engage, right? They're encouraging me to engage, and it's like, why do you want to engage with me? What do I have to offer? What, and it's like, stay in touch, call me, stay in touch. Well, you're not in crisis anymore. I don't, why do you want to stay in touch with me? uh and so I don't call them for 2 weeks, and it's like, why? So I'm just noticing these patterns, and maybe this is a little deeper than we have for 20 minutes, and maybe we have to finish this next week. But because it's just deep. This is deep.
It is, but let's see if we can give you some relief as quickly as possible. Because there's number one is the imposter syndrome. Okay. So first it's really recognizing and understanding, you know, what Stephanie was talking about, what Jackie was talking about, which is that voice in my head that's constantly talking to me, that negative inner critic that is either trying to convince me that of something, you don't want to do that, you don't want to go here, who do you think you are, you know you're not as whatever. So there's this imposter syndrome that tells us we're not good enough. And so when someone reaches out to you, right, and they need help, right? So when somebody reaches out and says, Paulie, I need help, I'm struggling. What do you feel? What does it allow you to feel when someone reaches out to you and says, I need help?
For me, it's like, okay, uh, it's a connection. There's a connection there that all right, I know how you feel. I know where you've been. Uh, and I want to help you find your ways out of that.
Okay, great.
So
Okay,
I
so
can be of service. It's a feeling of service
mhm.
and connection.
Okay, service. Okay, so we're going to deconstruct this. So first of all, I need help and I feel connected. I feel a sense of connection. Okay, we have similar, I don't want to use the word problems, the similar
Challenges,
circumstances. Yeah, similar,
challenges.
very good, very good. Here's someone who has similar challenges. So I feel connected. I also feel of service. I also feel as though I am contributing to this person, right? So now you're contributing to this person, you're connecting with this person. How does that make you feel? What's the feeling that you have when things are working? You're helping this person out. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel whole. There's something about it, complete. You know, I'm in tune. It just, time fly. There is no sense of time.
Wonderful.
I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow. I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
I'm in the flow. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so now these emotions they're building. Okay, so they're stacking in a positive way. So first someone reaches out to me and I feel connected, right? And as we talk, I recognize that I can be of service. And as I start to be of service, I start to feel whole, I start to feel accomplished. I'm in my zone of greatness. Okay? So there's this sense of being valuable. Okay, so I have value. I feel significant. I feel valuable. Okay, so now you've helped this person out. They got what they needed from you, right? And now they want to maintain the relationship. But all of a sudden, a new series of feelings and emotions start to surface when this person wants to maintain the relationship. What are those feelings? Like, hey, Paulie, thanks. Let's stay in touch, man. Reach out. Where does the shift happen?
I guess the shift happens is like, okay, now, now what? Now, uncertainty. See, in the beginning, I'm certain. I know.
What are you certain of?
I know of what I can offer. I know the principles. I know the direction at the beginning, and I know how to be of service there. When we get to the further part, now I'm out of service. I'm confused and I'm uncertain. I don't know.
So the question
I'm out of
here
my
is,
element. I'm out of my element, maybe.
Yeah, but we've got to zero in on the uncertainty. Because there is a facet of the uncertainty that is not allowing me to progress to this in this. I had plenty of certainty at the beginning part of the relationship. Now it's feeling uncertain. I'm feeling uncertainty, right? So if you were to guess as to where it went from certain to uncertain, what has now changed? What's the difference?
Now I got to trust you, not me. As soon as you said, I knew it. That's exactly where it come right from the pit of my gut.
As soon as we lose control of the situation, whatever that situation is, the fear comes in like a bucket of water. See, I've got control in the beginning facet of this. I know what to do. I know what to say. I know how to take care of this person. They trust me. Now I have to trust them. They could hurt me. See, it didn't take that long. Ultimately, here's what happens. When we stop or we believe, here's what things, we create this belief system that we're no longer providing value to this person. Because most of us, we were raised with conditional love. I will only receive love if I do this. It's transactional. And so while I'm the one giving, the transaction's coming from my side and I can control it. Now, as it's coming in, I have no way to control how to receive what's coming in. I can control the outflow. This is why I go into service. I go into contribution. I go into caring for others. Because the minute I allow someone to care for me or someone to love me or someone to honor me, then I have to almost relieve myself of expectations. It's this conditional love that we've been conditioned. And so I create opportunities for me to have connection, have relationships on my terms. And as soon as it comes back, well, what's coming back? I have to trust them. Now I got to trust you. Not to hurt me, not to let me down, not to disappoint me. And that goes for Jackie, that goes for Steph, that goes for most of us. If I'm not providing value in the relationship, then what purpose do I have in this relationship? I have to be providing some sort of value in order for this person to love me or want to spend time with me. Why would anyone just want to hang out with me, just to hang out with me? We go back to the baby. We go back to the baby. The baby has to do absolutely nothing. And he is the epitome of love and joy. So this is where the uncertainty and the risk, the only question is it worth it? Because if it's not, then I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. And I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. So I'm going to have to trust that who I am today is worthy of love and joy, is worthy of giving love and joy, receiving love and joy unconditionally. It comes with a hug. It comes with something as simple as, it's so good to see you. That is giving love. It is so, Stephanie, it's so good to see you. I missed you. Do you receive? Yes. It's all it is. Antoinette, I loved your feedback last week. Thank you so much. The minute you mention someone's name, they light up. That's all it is. Jackie, so good to see you. She smiles. Right? Travis, I hadn't seen him in a while. Travis, so good to see you. That felt good. That was all giving and receiving love. As soon as I said that to him, he was like, yeah, I missed you. I love you guys. It's an exchange of love and joy freely and unconditionally. But we want to complicate things because that's what we do. We complicate things. Keep it simple. Paulie, stay in touch, man. Give me a call. What the fuck does this guy want from me? I already fixed him. Why does he want to talk to me? I have nothing else to give. So the inner critic, we have to find a way to disconnect from the inner critic and reconnect with the inner protagonist. There is a protagonist inside all of us. And for many of us, he's very, very small and very soft-spoken. And we have to start cultivating and allowing the protagonist to show up. The protagonist that says, that was like the little exercise that I was doing with Jackie. Here's the protagonist. Here's the antagonist. Oh, we're going to be so uncomfortable. I don't want to go to that thing. I'm going to feel uncomfortable there. Yeah, but how are you going to, learn how to give and receive love and joy if you don't risk a little bit? If you don't go out there, hey, by the way, there's going to be a baby there. You might like it. Yeah, have a good time. It's outdoors. Right? Yeah, I know. But, I got to go to work. And I would love to get some rest before. And so there's the protagonist and the antagonist. It lives inside of us. But for many of us, the antagonist voice is so much louder, so much stronger, and so much dominant because we've been hurt so much that it's the antagonist that keeps us safe. The protagonist wants to risk. It wants to go out and create and enjoy and share and love. And the antagonist goes, well, you see where that got us last time. And then it starts to win, and it starts to get loud. And before you know it, protagonist is very small. We have to start to little by little increase the volume on the protagonist and bring down the volume on the antagonist. Any questions? You get what you needed there, Paulie?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Paulie, I love you very much.
Wow. I love you too. Thank you.
Guys, are you seeing how simple this is? I mean, like, this could not be any more simple. Did you feel it when I said it?
Yes.
It's so simple, guys. That was Paulie and I giving an example of giving and receiving love. It's just that simple. Just allow yourself. Trust yourself. All right. We are at the top of the hour. Does anyone have anything else or wants to add? Because I loved that conversation I just had with Paulie. Anybody else want to have something to say? Jump on in, Travis.
Yeah, just a couple. I mean, this whole conversation's been really what I needed, And I like, like me when I guess what I'm doing now is when I hear the inner critic, like I like to check it, right? Like when I start speaking up, I like to play, ask it 21 questions. Because that's ultimately like, yeah, right. But again, like I'm not perfect, and I still let the inner critic kick my ass. I let him get on the megaphone sometimes, and and I listen to it because it's obnoxious and it's easy to listen to sometimes. But and I especially really relate like with the fear and the overwhelming things and all. But, yeah, the giving and receiving of love and all of that is really a skill set that when you were talking about the conditional love and how it was transactional, that one hit home for real because like my love has been conditioned for a long, like it's the way that it is, and regardless of if it's good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is, like that's just the way that I've been. And as I'm going older, as I'm growing in my recovery, I'm realizing that my definition of love is changing from the conditional love that I've been given my whole life, and so that takes practice, and it takes a lot of vulnerability and experiencing it. Sometimes putting my hand on the hot stove and realizing that that's not the love that I like, but for the most part, yeah, it is. It's a simple process, and it's just the vulnerability of saying like, I love you, Omar. Like, thanks for being here and hosting the service, and all the peers here for giving me the good advice that I need. Like, love doesn't have to be that complicated at all. But I can complicate the shit out of it. What did Paulie say? He can fuck up a bologna sandwich, man.
Well, Travis, I love you too. It is so good to see you. Glad you're back. And Tori, I love you too, sweetheart. Tori's been such an important part of this journey for me. Just in these weekly coaching calls, we've developed a very close relationship, and I'm very grateful for her.
Yeah, it's good. I've been gone a couple of weeks, so it's good to be back. And yeah, I have I have shingles right now, so I'm gonna go to the urgent care after this. I'm in a lot of pain, but
Well,
but it's good to hear everybody and see everybody, and I'm back. So
she's back and she's off. Love to everyone. Love and joy. I love you all, and I receive your love back. Ciao, everyone. See you next week.